excessive friendliness, toxic familial dynamics, and wild cameo appearance ideas. The murders of these celebrities uncovered a plethora of hidden truths and shocking revelations. It seems like Dominique Dunne's career was about to take off in 1982. She had guest starred on several hit series before starring as Dana, the older sister, in the iconic horror film Poltergeist that summer. On the evening of October 30th, her violent ex-boyfriend John Sweeney assaulted her, ruining her comeback for the sequel. After 5 days, she passed away. Dominique Dunne, who was Dunne's father, was an assistant director and producer in Hollywood. He was most known for his work on the 1970s film, The Boys in the Band. Following Dominique's murder, he penned an article for Vanity Fair's March 1984 issue, reflecting on life as a murder victim's father. He went on to write about real-life crimes, including those involving the Menendez brothers, Lana Clarkson's death at the hands of Phil Spector and O.J. Simpson. The jury found Sweeney guilty of willful homicide, hence his sentence for Dominique's murder was reduced from 3 to 2 years. Protests spearheaded by the Dunnes drove him from California following his release. Even though it was years later, Dominique did confess that he had tried to hire a hitman to deal with Sweeney, but the detective he had approached as a go-between talked him out of it. His readers had no idea he was so close to being a murder suspect and an investigator. The reality TV industry was rocked by the shocking death of Jasmine Fior, a model and TV personality. She tied the knot with Ryan Jenkins not long ago. He was aspiring to be a reality TV star. Megan Hauserman, a former contestant on Rock of Love, chose him from a house full of wealthy single men on Megan Wants a Millionaire. Immediately following his removal, Jenkins traveled to Sin City, where he met and wed Fiore. He then proceeded to Mexico to film the 3rd season of I Love Money. The severed remains of Fiore were discovered in a bag in August 2009. To avoid being identified, her fingers and teeth had been amputated. At the autopsy, the serial numbers on her breast implants were used to identify her. Jenkins committed suicide in his hotel room in Canada a few days later. She stayed in Las Vegas, while rumors spread that he had been suspicious of Fiore in Mexico. His envy was even a driving force in the plot of I Love Money. The cancellation of both shows, starring Jenkins, resulted in significant financial losses. If someone was so dangerous, how did they end themselves on 2 different VH1 reality shows? Reality TV insiders detailed an ever-present dedication to safety and vigilance in a 2020 Entertainment Weekly piece, reflecting on the murder. After filming has concluded, networks maintain contact with their stars and invest additional resources into doing comprehensive background checks. Changing styles while keeping followers and money came easily to Marvin Gaye, who was one of the rare musicians to do it. No matter the subject matter, his beautiful voice shone through. He went from being a Motown favorite to taking his message of protest and change more seriously as his career progressed. Regrettably, he was likewise murdered by his violent father in 1984, just 1 day before he became 45 years old. Marvin Gaye, Sr. loathed his son, supposedly, from the time he was a Pentecostal preacher. He had no interest in or fondness for Marvin, according to his wife Alberta. Worse yet, Dad also didn't want me to have feelings for Marvin. Throughout his upbringing, the older Gaye mistreated his son, allegedly going so far as to accuse him of having an affair with his mother. His father despised Marvin Jr.'s public demeanor, but admired his son's achievement once he was an adult. The younger Gaye man, meantime, was dealing with his own issues, such as drug misuse, thoughts of suicide, and domestic violence. During an altercation, Marvin Sr. shot his son twice with a .38 pistol, escalating the tensions between them. On the charge of voluntary manslaughter, he was given a 6-year suspended sentence, along with 5 years of probation. It is possible that Rebecca Schaeffer's generosity played a role in her demise. She replied to Robert Bardo's letter by writing that it was among the most kind she had ever received. As his obsession with her grew, Bardo engaged a private investigator to track down her address and the addresses of other famous people, including Tiffany and pop diva Debbie Gibson. Bardo shot and killed Schaeffer on her front doorstep on July 18, 1989, after the private investigator tracked her down. Her age was 21. The murder of Schaeffer brought the issue of stalking to the attention of many Americans, probably most famous for her work on the murder trial of O.J. Simpson. Marcia Clark told the Los Angeles Times in 2024 that she had prosecuted Bardo. The case's central theme is the naivete of all parties concerned. Was there any indication of animosity on his part? Nothing at all. Even though a security officer had chased Bardo away from a studio where he had gone in search of Schaeffer, neither he nor Schaeffer's staff had detected anything suspicious in the letters he had sent. Because of this case, California passed some of the earliest anti-stalking legislation in the country. These rules have grown in significance over the years, especially in light of the abundance of information on famous people that can be found online. One of the most baffling unsolved killings for nearly 30 years was the 1996 drive-by shooting death of rapper Tupac Shakur. Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, a suspect, was apprehended and faced first-degree murder charges in 2023. "I am innocent," he says. However, preparations for a huge memorial in Soweto, South Africa, were underway around the time of Shakur's death, which was 10 years ago. The ashes were to be brought to Soweto, a town well known for its participation in the fight against apartheid, by the rapper's mother, the former Black Panther Afeni Shakur. An arts complex, a museum, and a children's park were to be erected on 5 acres around Tupac's resting place. The plans, alas, never came to fruition. After cancelling her trip, Faney decided to concentrate on memorials in America instead. From 2005 through 2014, Stone Mountain, Georgia was home to the Tupac Amaru Shakur Center for the Arts. There was a life-size statue of Tupac Shakur on the premises, but it vanished after it closed. When Selena Quintanilla Perez passed away in 1995, she was on the verge of becoming a megastar. She had already achieved superstardom in the Tejano music industry by the time she was in her early 20s. She was about to record an album in English and make a cameo appearance in the film Don Juan de Marco. On the other hand, Selena accused her fan club president, Yolanda Salvador, of embezzling money, and on March 31, Salvador shot and killed Selena in a motel in Corpus Christi, Texas. What made you think a gun was necessary? This occurred subsequent to death threats. Even in death, Selena's star continued to rise. Dreaming of You, her posthumous album, was published to tremendous acclaim, despite the fact that she had only recorded a handful of tunes for it. It sold more than 3 million copies in the US alone and debuted at 1 on the Billboard 200 list. The racy details of her murder helped boost sales, but it also made it very obvious that the world had lost a brilliant talent. Rebel Without a Cause, which Sal Mineo starred in with James Dean and Natalie Wood in 1955, is the film that brought him the most fame. Tragically, all 3 of those actors passed away at a very young age. Mineo had a hard time securing steady, high-quality employment when he outgrew his teen parts. He was murdered in an alleyway close to his West Hollywood flat in 1976 as he was rehearsing a play named P.S. for Cat is Dead. The fact that Mineo was bisexual was no secret, and the suspicions that he had a preference for male actors likely made it harder for him to get jobs in films. Some have speculated that his sexuality had a role in his murder due to the circumstances surrounding his death, particularly the discovery of money in his pocket. Even after the conviction of petty criminal and pizza delivery guy Lionel Williams for attempting to rob Mineo, rumors that he was murdered by an enraged boyfriend or an amorous affair persisted. Although Mineo was definitely gay, that was essentially unrelated to his demise. Just being in the wrong spot at the wrong time was all it took. As a journalist, you can't help but think about cold cases. Murdered in 1999, journalist Jill Dando was a household name in Britain when she was killed. From 1988 till her passing away in 1998, the charming and compassionate Dando was a news and chat show host on the BBC. Her fashionable blonde hairstyle was said to have inspired Princess Diana's own similar doe. Most notably, she oversaw Crime Watch, an organization with the mission of solving cold cases across the nation. Dando was shot and killed on her front porch